Now we unmuted. Now we unmuted.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unmuted.
Turn me up now. Now we unmuted. I'm about to be one of the best to ever do it. Simp 7 in the building, you already knew it. Roll on my sleeve, so let's get to it. I'm walking with my purpose, I'm walking in my vision. So that means I'm just a man on this mission. I'm just a comedian that happen to be Christian. So let that beat drop, give them what they missing. Yeah. Now we unmuted. Now we unmuted.
For Best Documentary goes to Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised.
This is Amir Questlove Thompson's first Spirit Award nomination and win, and it's his directorial debut.
Thank you for this honor. It took a village of people to free this film from its 50-year sentence sitting inside of a basement. It starts with the dream of two gentlemen in Harlem, Tony Lawrence and Hal Tolshin. It starts with 300,000 beautiful residents of Harlem. It starts with all the, MUSA Jackson, hello, brother. Oh, damn, all right, you came on stage.
My the closest friend here, the one that do all the flyers, and all the booking and all the other stuff that I put her on. She tried to give it back to me, but I don't want it. You do such a great job. You do such a great job. It's on now. You got it now. But it's on you now. But give it up for Miss Sarah. Gavin, y'all, give it up for Miss Sarah.
Hi.
You doing all right today?
I am. How are you?
Excited. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand. Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Oh yeah. You see who down at the bottom of the screen right there?
Yes, Mr. MUSA Jackson himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce this man. I had the opportunity to meet him when I went to New York when I was out for business with my job in Massachusetts. And then I found out that New York was only 3 hours up the road. And I said, I'm not going to miss this opportunity to go to New York. And when I found out that he's there, I say, listen, let him know that I'm coming to New York and I want to meet him. Wherever he's at, I got to get to him. You don't understand. Like, no, you don't get it. Once I saw this documentary, I fell in love with the time and I fell in love with your story. And I had to meet you when I was in New York. So thank you. He is the founder of Ambassador Magazine, digital magazine.
Yes.
It's a phenomenal magazine. And I can't wait to get my little happy self on there because I got some nice pictures too. But it's his story that Questlove has on the documentary. And I'm so grateful that he's here to share that history because that hour and 30 minutes, everything is not in there. So I got some questions for you, brother, but I want everybody to give it up for the man himself, Mr. MUSA Jackson. Give it up, y'all. Come on, that's Moose, man. That's Moose. Oh yeah.
Thank you for that introduction. Thank you so much, Christian and Sarah. Pleasure to be here at your introduction, your first premiere show.
Yes.
So that goes down in history.
Yeah, go down in history.
That'll always be with you. Trust me on that. First, the first things you never forget.
Right.
You never forget your first love. You never forget, the first time. All the first. Let's just go there.
Correction.
All the first.
I forgot that heifer.
That's why it's unmuted, right?
I forgot that heifer, bro. No,
that's the unmuted part.
Got her, man.
Yeah, so I'm glad to be here. It was awesome to meet you. You came during we were still kind of Indian summer when you got here. After Labor Day, we had our he came. He said he's coming. And I said, yeah, come on, you better come on, because you know Harlem is welcoming, and on my block, which I have a great block.
Yes.
One of the best blocks in Harlem, and we do one of the best block parties. But the highlight is we do a fish fry, and my cousin is, you know, she's at the grill. So she's always throwing the fish in, she's battered the fish, she's putting the grill, and we feed, Sarah, the whole neighborhood.
Oh my goodness.
Homeless come by, get 2 or 3 plates. As many times as you come to the table, you're getting a plate. So I know I saw you. I know I saw you.
You saw me?
You came up the first time. Okay, you don't have to get, you know, all shy. No, you want another plate? You know, because that's what one thing about Harlem, one thing I love about my community that we have is we are, you know, givers. And we've given a lot to the world, to the communities, to culture. And we carry that, you know, with a badge of honor. So when you come, Sarah, come in the summer.
Okay.
Come in the summertime. Okay. Let me know when you're coming. I'll tell my cousin, because it's my cousin on the block.
Okay.
And we'll do a fish fry.
Okay.
Okay. We want you, because you know, Black folks, you know how we do.
We
You know,
love
people have their potato salad,
yes.
collard greens. You know, nobody makes better fried chicken than my mama. You know, but my man over here will tell you, can attest, if he had the fish, it was good.
It was delicious. It was good.
Good.
I had my plate. Now, see, he gave me a kid plate at first. He gave me a kid plate, gave me a hamburger, a hot dog. You know, I'm like, he gave me the hamburger that they just got out the pack and put on the grill. And he put no love into it. I say, these for the kids. These for the kids right here, though. But it was good, man. But after that, the macaroni and cheese was busting. The fish was banging. It was so much fish. It was so much. He kept going back there getting. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can get back in line for another, but they had enough. They had more than enough. It was delicious. And what I loved about what I saw there is family, friends. Everybody was happy to see one another. Everybody was happy to be there. And they accepted me.
Yes.
Their nephew, their grandson, and I'm like, this is my family now. We keep it going.
Yes. You in the mix.
Yeah, and he thinking that, oh, he just gonna, you know, talk to me on the interview and that's it. No, you my brother, you my big brother, not man.
Well, you know, here's the thing. Once he came through, right? Like I said, it's one thing on the internet or you see people that I do interviews, it's cool. You're gonna be hospitable and you're gonna have a great conversation. But it's another thing when you come up amongst my people, my family. You know, the thing is with us is that, like I said, we welcome you. If I know you, come on in, get yourself a plate. Get yourself a plate.
Right.
Bring your girlfriend.
Right.
Get her a plate. That's how I was raised.
Right.
That's what you see in the Summer Soul.
Right.
Okay. That's that energy of the people that you see in the Summer Soul.
Right.
Yes.
So my first question to you,
okay,
with the Summer Soul is did Miss Ann Reynolds ever forget her wallet?
Oh,
did Miss Reynolds ever find her wallet?
You know what's so what he's referring to is in the opening of Summer Soul, you hear over the loudspeaker Tony Lawrence or some other commentator saying, hey, Miss Ann Reynolds lost her wallet.
Right.
Come get her wallet. Now, what you gotta understand, anybody that's seen this, which is it tells you everything you need to know about the time we lived in and my people, and specifically Harlem, that you had 300, or at that time, 50,000 people, and you lose your wallet?
Right.
The fact that you even mentioning over, come pick up your wallet over at aisle, you know, over near the stage.
I gotta do it. Ann Reynolds, Miss Ann Reynolds, your wallet is over here. All right, that was it right there.
That's it.
Home.
That's it. And then you see the crowd, and it's just if Ann Reynolds got her wallet. I don't know. I can honestly say
I found
I
on
don't know if
Facebook.
she got her wallet.
I found on Facebook she was missing some food stamps out of it.
Oh, see,
No.
see,
Bubble gum.
God,
see,
no.
see
But she
that?
got it though. She got it back, but she was just missing some stuff out of it though.
She
You know,
missing some stuff out of that. She missing her. No, she can't be missing her food stamps.
Yeah, they're missing the food stamp money out of
Oh,
that.
that's the first thing they took was the stamps.
Yeah, that first thing, exactly.
They kept the dollar money. Nah, let's get them stamps.
Yeah, the most definitely, yeah.
I grew up on stamps, so let's keep it 100. I grew up on
Most
some
definitely.
stamps,
Man.
and I grew up on government cheese
Oh yeah?
and some stamps. They used to have the cheese truck. So I'm taking y'all back to the 60s, child. Taking you back to the early 70s, okay, in Harlem. And there was, you got your cheese. You got a chunk of cheese that was like a loaf, and mom would slice it. And check
that's
it
what they
out.
call
It would take forever to melt.
Yes.
Oh really?
You try to make
That's
a cheese
true?
sandwich, it would take forever to melt because I don't think it was actual cheese.
Really?
I don't know if a cow actually made this in hindsight, thinking about it, because wasn't cheese supposed to really, really melt quickly?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cheese
This
supposed
one
to
would
melt.
take forever to melt. We'd be like, just give me that sandwich. You know, we would eat hungry kids. My mother had hungry kids. Just give me the sandwich. But yeah, so we, you know, I was honored to do, asked to do the Summer of Soul, actually, you know, the movie, when Questlove, you know, came,
Right.
or his producer actually found me. And they, you know, people have asked me, how did I become involved with the Summer of Soul, the film? And I'm known in Harlem as the Harlem ambassador. That, you know, you don't give yourself that title. Let's just be clear. It always comes from the people. So that's an honor in itself that I was proclaimed by the people of Harlem. So if you spoke to any notable in Harlem, they're going to point at me.
Yeah.
And I was given this title, I think, based off of, you know, you just do work, and you don't think I'm going to do this title. I'm going to do this work. I'm going to get a title. No, I just did the work, and I got the title, and that was a blessing that they gave me, which I hold very dearly. Freddie Jackson, the singer, Uncle Freddie to me, Freddie Jackson said, you know, I need you to walk very confidently as a Harlem ambassador. Okay, because if you don't have that title, somebody else will come and get it, and they won't look like you or us. Okay, gentrified. Okay,
Right.
Yeah.
We don't want that. You're happy when you see my face and I show up, and the fact that I'm born in Harlem, my family arrived in Harlem in 1919. So
Okay.
I'm real history. My family is one of the oldest families in Harlem. You're seeing an authentic creation of Harlem, okay, that was connected to all the history that, in some facet, that you've heard about, okay? As a child, I knew James Baldwin. I met James Baldwin. Okay?
Oh, really?
Let's just end that right there, okay?
Okay. All right.
You know, you can't go bigger than James Baldwin, okay? So as a child.
Did he have the cigarette in his hand too?
What did you say?
Did he have the cigarette in his hand when he was talking to you?
He didn't have no cigarette now.
Oh, okay. Because all the ones I seen, he had a cigarette in his hand. He was talking.
He didn't have a cigarette, but he did chastise me.
Really?
Because he chastised me because I was acting a way that he thought was counter to the culture, counter to our Blackness. And he had to check me. And I was only 7 years old. And he said to me, I won't do the voice. I can do the voice. People always want the voice. I guess this is unmuted, right?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So he said, this is, you know, James Baldwin, he said, let me tell you something, young man.
Yes, there it is. There it is right there. Yeah, that's it.
Let me tell you something, young man. He said, you come from a great people of Harlem, beautiful people, and I don't want you ever to forget that.
Yes.
Wow.
I was 7 or 8, and child, here I'm 56 years old, and I never forgot it. I've forgotten many things. I didn't know who he was. 7, 8 years old. I wasn't reading Baldwin. I didn't know who he was. James Baldwin. No, he was Uncle Jimmy, and to me, he was a frog man because he looked like a frog. And so that's what I thought he was a frog man because we as kids put labels on people, and his gap tooth, his bugged out eyes, skinny legs, wide smile, put an animal looks like a frog. So anyway, so I grew up around a lot of history, old history that doesn't really exist today, and a part of the new history. So, and then I'm a community leader. So I've done events for the Apollo and the Schaumburg, their black tie event as the ambassador. I was a Harlem ambassador to Africa. So Africa, Council of Generals come to Harlem, and I'm the Harlem ambassador. So when I do go to Africa, whether it be a king or whoever, I'm recognized as a Harlem ambassador. Titles, people from London or whatever have come, and I've taken this, Italy, a lot of wealthy people come, and I'm the guy they want to talk to or have at dinner. And so I take this title very seriously. And so I do a lot of things, and I give back to my community. One of the big things I love to do is I make sure it's free.
Right.
I've done 100 signature events. And when I say top-notch events, they're top-notch.
Right.
And you don't pay for my events. You pay for other events, period. But I made sure you don't pay for mine. Because I'll have a sponsor take care of that.
Oh, okay.
I want you to come in and feel like a star.
So
for me, if you come, the photographers are there. I have a plethora of photographers, and you're like, holy crap. And people used to walk around my business and go, where's Janet Jackson? And I said, you Janet right now.
Right.
She ain't coming. You the star. So that I translated all of that to the community, which they've since taken on those skills and seen the benefits of treating people like they're valuable.
Right.
Because I was treated like I was valuable.
Right.
From a child. Okay, start there. You're a queen. He's a king. Well, don't treat him like such. Don't treat him like the N-word or the B-word.
There you go.
We see it's unmuted. So we see what happens with that.
Right.
Yes.
Correct?
So
I wasn't treated like that.
How did we get so comfortable with using the B word to describe a woman, and then something and say, I'm a bad B, or I'm saying I'm this, and then like, my nigga, because I've used it as well,
It's unmuted, go for it.
And stuff like that. And it's like, hey man, like when I hear it now, and I'm a school teacher, and I hear it at school, and I hear it, I'm like, oh, I don't like it.
Right.
Like that's because that word was used to defy us as human beings and how we are, and it's just like, oh.
Well, that's what you become.
Right.
And so I always say that, I'm in a hood. I live in a hood. I live in still in Harlem, obviously, right? I love to call it the hood. And even I still like the word hood because as it's being gentrified, I want the white people to know, oh, you in a hood. You living in a hood.
Right.
You feel me? Yes. You living up in the hood. So that way, they kind of go, well, Mom, where do I live? I live in the hood. Well, I ain't moving there. So that might slow their roll down a little bit. Okay. Because I'm comfortable in the hood. And when I say the hood, I live in a beautiful place, as you can see. You know what I mean? So so my thing is I should probably put this on. You're gonna get some more light. Check it out.
Oh.
Nice and shine. Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're getting a little darker.
Okay, all right, there we go.
You get the love. Okay. So I see it's getting darker. So doing a lot of things in the community, I get a lot of calls from different people. And one of the text messages was, and I'll get the information and I'll make sure they'll say, hey, there's a free this or that. Make sure the community knows about it. So I send it off to the right channels, the Block Association presidents, organizations, nonprofits, the whole nine. I disseminate information and goodwill. So I got a text message from the associate producer of A Summer of Soul, when they were putting it together, and she essentially said, she said, do you know anybody that, said Musa, you know, do you know anybody that we can meet who was at the Harlem Cultural Festival of 1969? And normally, like I said, I just, here you go. Oh, yeah, I'll let you know. And I went, and immediately I realized this was a moment that had finally arrived in my life.
Right.
Because the Summer of Soul, as you recall, that was, as you may not know, my first memory in life was going to see the Harlem Cultural Festival. I can't go back beyond that. And so my first memory is seeing The Fifth Dimension, Gladys Knight, and Nina Simone, and you know, seeing the greats at 4.
Right.
And that would shock the hell out of people. Because, you know, people's first memory might be my brother hitting me on the head or going to see grandma down south, whatever it was. But mine was like huge. And it was like, and I'm like, and I would tell people, and sometimes from Harlem, and they would not always believe me because people didn't remember it or people weren't there. It wasn't recorded.
Right.
It wasn't put, it was recorded, but it wasn't put out there to the masses. Right. And they go, oh yeah, I remember seeing it on TV and da-da-da-da. So they had no recollection. So they're just hearing me say that. And they think, he's just trying to, you know, the Harlem ambassador, he want to just like pump his profile up.
Right.
By, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, this is what happened. But that's the reason. It was a free concert in the park, which is, I live 2 blocks from that same park today. And it's the reason why I have since put on concerts at the park for thousands of people. The only one, individual, not an organization. I'm the only one.
Right.
Now, I was doing that before they did the film. Okay? That was just me doing what I do, right? And then when they came to me and they were like, they needed someone, I said, I was there. And they were like, well, first off, how old are you? She's like, thinking, how could you, 50 years ago, how old are you? I thought you were 40 and change, which would mean you couldn't have been there. And I said, I told her my age. And then she said, well, how old was, you're 4? And I said, 4. And so then she said, well, what would a 4-year-old remember?
Oh, I remember a lot of age 4. Oh yeah, I remember.
Okay.
I remember.
Okay. And you do, right? Okay.
Yes.
And so I was 4. They interviewed, just so that you get some background, they interviewed 3,000 people. They narrowed it down to 12 because their stories they didn't remember, baby. And they narrowed it down to 12 and only 5 made the film. And of the 5, my recollections would shape the movie. I had, they said, the most incredible memory, and I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? I say this to parents all the time. And I have a receipt.
Right.
I said, show your kids when they're young.
Yeah.
Take them everywhere.
Yeah.
The good things. If you're gonna show them, if you're gonna drop it like it's hot and be banging your music and they're hearing all this other stuff,
right,
counterbalance it at least with some culture.
Yes.
In a big way. Now that might mean nothing, that might be normal to y'all. I grew up in the hood. I'm still here.
So did I.
I'm still here. I know what I see.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. All
right, y'all. This is unmuted now. I know what I see. And I don't see a whole lot. Like my mom was taking us to museums and galleries and art exhibits and dance, dancing in Harlem. All this culture was being fed into me. It was just, that's all she did. So me being the Harlem ambassador and explain makes so much sense.
Yes.
That's all.
You have the best memory.
That's all. That's my language. That's my upbringing. That's what was fed into me. And so I did the movie, and they basically my testimony in a movie. You know, I did not know there was an actual film. All they asked me was, were you there?
Right.
Mhm.
So when I went to the interview with there's Questlove. I should have gave you that picture. There's Questlove, and there's me, and there's Quest, and he's filming like you're looking at me right now, and he's asking me a question. And so I then answer the question, and we're going through a stream of consciousness. And as we're talking, I'm giving him like they're laughing because I'm saying things like, yeah, smell like Afro Sheen and chicken to me.
Yeah.
And they're like, you don't know how brilliant that is.
Right.
Mhm.
The thought of that, if you know Afro Sheen and chicken, put those two smells together, and that's what it smelled like.
Right.
And then Mama was, you know, frying up the fish and you know, and greens, but also there were beautiful Black people and queens. They look like queens and kings. So they used my words as a, you know, whatever. And so after I finished my testimony, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm good. We good, right? You got what you need.
Right.
And Questlove says, I want to show you something.
So that was him that was talking in the background?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In the beginning of the film where he says, thank you for coming, Mr. Jackson.
Right, that's it.
To
Okay.
tell us what you know about the Summer of Soul.
And
then we open the film, and all of a sudden, basically what he did was, you're going into my memory.
Right.
Okay.
That's and because it ends with me.
Right.
Crying.
I was right
Having
there.
relived my memory.
I cried like a little baby, man, because I'm like, dude, this is my parents. This is what they was telling us back in the day, where they come from, and the things they was doing. You know, they got into the church in the 67 and all like that, but I'm like, this is what y'all was doing. And I saw, you know, Mahalia Jackson and oh my God, the Chamber Brothers,
Mavis Staples and
all
that. Eddie Hawkins' sister singers.
Yes, man, Mavis was bad, bro. Mavis was so pretty, man. Mavis was bad. I didn't know she was that bad back in the day, man.
I got you. I'll tell you a little bit later about that, because I'll give you some behind the scenes stuff for your show.
Okay.
That didn't make it into the film.
I bet. Okay, let's go.
This is for your audience.
We ready for this? Let's go.
This is for your audience. So
Let's
after
go.
they show, they filming me, and I'm talking, and then he looks at me, and I'm thinking I'm done because I gave my testimony, and I'm thinking that's what it's going to be. This is the film, and he says to me, "I want to show you something," and I said, "You see my face?" And I'm like, "What do you want to show me?" And they said, "Look at that monitor." And that's the beginning of the movie.
Right, yeah.
Where I look up.
And you're in a daze. You're in a daze. I got it right here. I got you.
And the reason why I'm in a daze, is because the film was my memory.
Wow.
What they showed me, I remember going, how did you get in my head? What is this? What's going on? What's going on? I didn't know there was a film. I didn't know there was a movie film. They just said, who was there? And did you remember it? So I'm like, I was there. You want to hear my story? This is what I tell people all the time.
Right.
I didn't know someone filmed it.
Now, did anybody else know?
And here's the thing. Why they made me the star over Stevie Wonder, over everybody. When they showed me the footage, everything I said, they laid on top of the footage as a narration. They said, now you understand? They said, your memory was so descriptive that now we have to use that to show the film. They said, as a matter of fact, there were pictures that were taken by photographers that were there, that they spent a lot of money, the filmmakers spent a lot of money to acquire so they could put in the movie, but they couldn't put them in because nobody talked about them.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about. Oh, on the outside, they were on the outside because they weren't in the film. They weren't being filmed. They were taken on the outside.
Right.
And they were like, they said to me, what was going on? Oh, outside? They were cooking hot dogs and hamburgers, and they frying a chicken, and Mama was over here with I saw the blanket with with the knees, and the little girls with balloons, because I got a balloon. I remember my balloon went up in the air, and they showed the pictures that described that. So now they were able to put that in the film and not waste $50,000 on the photographs.
Right.
So they said, not only did you describe what was on the film, you described what wasn't even in the film. And they said people were just like, there were people that were saying they were there. They said, oh yeah, I remember, yeah, I was there. The Temptations performed.
No. No.
I was there. I think Michael Jackson, I remember that, yeah, Michael Jackson was, and his brothers were there. And out of 3,000, they kept going. They were slicing people left and right. Then they got to me, the 4-year-old, the one that they said, well, he's only 4.
What he remember?
What? That's Quest. Now, going forward, when Quest has done every single interview, Jimmy Fallon, every interview, he brings my name up. He says of all the interviews, there was a 5-year-old child named MUSA Jackson. And because of him, he took our film from an art house film into the heart and changed the film and gave it its heart. And I realized it was more than just an art house music film. It was actually, I was giving people their lives back.
Right.
He gave back Marilyn McCoo her life, if you saw it.
Yeah, yeah. She was just
she cried.
Yeah.
She cried. My crush.
Well, your crush. Yeah, I saw that.
Your crush. Everybody crush. Because when I said the crush thing, right? Every guy, let me tell you, I've had thousands of calls and stuff. And every guy, I just gotta say something. She was my crush too. When you said that, like everything you said, Musa, was so on point. And then I had a brother of mine from Harlem, and I'll give him some props. Dard, he called me up, one of my close friends called me up and he said, I just gotta say something, Musa, I just gotta tell you something. And he's a dude, he's macho, he's not even emotional. He insensitive. He one of them guys. And Sarah and I'm talking about them insensitive brothers, okay? And
Very.
He called me up, yo, man. I just want to say something to you. Yo, I just gotta say, yo, I'm proud of you, man. Like, it was incredible documentary. I mean, yo, I've ever seen. He said, yo, I cried. When you cried, I was here crying. And I was like, you were crying? You? And when he told me that, I said, to a friend of mine, I said, we got a hit. Because I already know the girls is crying. I already know sensitive people gonna cry. But when I got the insensitives, the ones that probably didn't cry at they such and such funeral, crying, I said, we got a hit here. He told me right away, I said, I think we got a hit. Just by the end, and we did. And things, it's been incredible. There's a few things that did not make the film. Because I'll give you some background. So he mentioned Mahalia Jackson and Mavis Staples, which is one of the highlights of the film when they're doing their duet together.
Right.
Yeah.
Originally, at the 11th hour, it wasn't supposed to be Mavis Staples at all. It was Aretha Franklin.
I was gonna ask that.
Aretha Franklin was scheduled to do it and she couldn't do it. So, and Mahalia Jackson was her idol, was Aretha Franklin idol. Everybody knows that. So you would have had on stage potentially Aretha and Mahalia doing exactly what you saw, but history had another plan, and Mavis went from singing as a Mavis Staples singer to becoming Mavis Staples in that moment, because she had to step up, because as you saw, Mahalia wasn't feeling well.
Right.
See how God worked?
Yeah.
She passed the torch off because she said, could you help me out, baby?
Yeah.
And she stepped up.
You good.
And that turned history for her.
Yeah.
I'll give you another background. There was when they were doing it was over 6 weeks. So people understand the Harlem Cultural Festival went every Sunday and Saturday, I think it was Sunday, every Sunday for 6 weeks. And And so they had different acts every week. They weren't the same acts, right?
Right.
And it was so different performers wanted to perform on the show. And one particular performer had tried to get in every week. He kept trying to get on, and they wouldn't put him on, right? So he's so he's running around Harlem. In the meantime, playing in all these clubs, these little dinky rinky Harlem clubs back in the day. He's playing his guitar. Hint, hint. He's playing his guitar. So people back in the day said, yeah, I remember there was this guy, I think it was such and such that was there. And I'm here to tell y'all it was him. If you're old enough to remember, the guy did not make it on the Summer Harlem Cultural Festival. He wound up performing instead for Woodstock in August.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is Jimi Hendrix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix would become an icon.
Right, big time.
At Woodstock. He defined Woodstock.
Right.
But he was trying to get on because he wanted to get with his Black roots.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, I don't know. The prisoners, I don't know, you a little heavy, you little, we ain't ready for that yet. You feel me?
Right,
We like BB King.
Right, yeah.
We were still kind of old school a little bit. And then we had Spy and the Family Stone, which was our cutting edge. Right?
Oh, I love them. Sly had it, bro. Sly had it. He had the audience. He had the energy.
Yep.
The ladies playing trumpet.
Yep.
His sister played the keyboard. His brother on guitar. Jimmy was on the bass. Bruh, hey, look, I know the boys. But guy on the drums, just like my old boy said, man, he like, dude, what the white guy doing on the drums? We couldn't even get down with that. He's not
Couldn't
supposed
even
to
get down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was
different. Yeah. It was a different time. I'll give you one last person that was actually at the Harlem Cultural Festival. He's on tapes and on footage. And I hope they actually get to release that footage. I think they are. So they're gonna probably do a limited series of it, just so that you guys know of the actual footage, so you don't get just 3 minutes of it. And he was a performer. He was only 17 years old. It was the first time he ever took the stage. It was the first time he ever played in front of an audience. And his name was Luther Vandross.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Luther Vandross was there, but he was a nobody. He was an absolute nobody.
Now, was it the Slim Luther or was he?
This was like anorexic. This was one plate helping.
You feel me?
The one plate helping Luther Vandross. This is when he didn't go back for the 5th time.
Dang, man, you know. Hey,
we love you, Luther.
Any representatives of Luther, hey, I apologize. This is unmuted. MUSA going off tonight.
I loved Luther. I actually met Luther. So, and you know, I don't mean that in a negative way. We're having fun here.
Oh no, yeah, we good, man.
I love me some Luther. Luther is we can just go off a little bit on Luther. Luther is the greatest male singer of all time. He's like, you know, the male Whitney Houston to me. So
yeah. I'm gonna put him over.
You know, all praises, all due to the great Luther Vandross.
Most definitely.
Okay? You know.
Yeah. So with you being present in the 50s and the 60s and 70s, how has music evolved in your eyes compared to back then to now?
Wow. Okay, that's a great question. I feel music back in those days was centered around love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even there was Love Unlimited Orchestra, Barry White, Teddy Pendergrass, He's My Baby, the 50s, you know, they sang about love and they sang about, you know, relationships in a positive way. And what's different now is we're singing about materialism. You got to get paid, you got to drop diamonds, you got to have Gucci on, you know, your girlfriend better have a big butt. You got to know what to do with all that. She got to drop it like it's hot. You know, women are, you know, and she's definitely a B and I'm her N. So, you know, these are terms that never existed, or they did exist, but were never used in music.
Right.
Never. You didn't. I mean, unless you were Mahalia Jackson. Oh gosh, she was a Millie Jackson.
Millie Jackson, right? Okay.
And maybe even Mom's Maybelline. but we were raunchy. Those were comedians, and Millie Jackson was the raunchy. That had its place. You only had one Millie Jackson. You didn't have, you didn't give her a whole genre to run away with. It was just like, if you were after hours, you got a little Richard Pryor. That was just, and if you had that record, you a child, what you doing with my Richard Pryor? You weren't allowed to listen to this.
Right.
And of course, as a kid, we're all sneaking, hearing them play it, Richard Pryor, and laughing up in the living room, drinking that Ripple and drinking that scotch, because now they're a little inebriated, so they don't hear the little pitter patter of the kids sneaking. Oh, he said the N word. Oh, he said the F word. Oh, they can't hear all that because we were kids, but that's how it was. As opposed to today, where that's where you begin. Today, if you ain't using the N word, you ain't using the B word. If she ain't a H,
right.
Okay, and you a bad H. So you got the women. This is my H.
Right.
This is my B.
Right.
And my N gets paid, or he don't get none of this WAP. So
Why wasn't you see back in the day, it was the doo-wop. Now today it's just the WAP, but see back then it was doo-wop. You know what I'm saying? I mean the do, because you had to do with the WAP. But now,
And here's the thing. I hate when I hear the hip hop community say things like, well, we're just talking about the times we live in. It was poorer back then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you want to talk about poverty?
Yeah.
We was wearing Gucci. We were wearing Skippies.
Yeah. And what's Skippy?
But we didn't go ahead and call you an N and a B on a record. So don't tell us that BS about it was, we just talking about what it's like. I said, but you're shooting each other. You're shooting each other for what? Over her? That you call a B? Child, don't get me started. But that's where we are in terms of the lyrics and the content and and how we navigate through. So you know what I'm saying? Like, so if that's the basis, you're gonna, and I'm not taking anything away from hardworking people or people that are trying to get on or trying to do what they do. And I'm not saying anything in negative, honestly, against a Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion or any of them, really, honestly, because I think they're talented, and I think that they have a platform and they could easily shift it into another direction, right? They could easily shift this into another direction and start putting out some positive messages. They won't allow them to, because the record companies that are controlling this don't want Black people to succeed. They don't want us to be powerful as they are, okay? And they saw that happening in the 70s, where we were talking about love and we were really coming together. As he saw in the movie, we were unified. They had to do everything they do to ununify us, crack and heroin and all those things. We're not scientists, honey. So who's creating that? It ain't Bubba over here.
Right.
Okay? It ain't, you looking at him and you, it's your fault. It's your fault, that 18-year-old. And then you get him, in a, you arrest him, you put him, say, how did you get this? And he goes, oh, how did you make this? I don't know. Because you didn't make it. What's the compound? What's the compound in this? Let's talk science. You're always talking damn science. Okay? When you talking, everybody's using the word science. Well, what's the science of crack?
Well, I thought they put sugar inside of it for me.
There you go.
That was Uncle Bubba, And
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, so that's gonna all kind of, to me, when you ask about the music and all those kind of things, and I might have went off a little bit, but honestly, that's all, and how we think is all a part of the music. It's gonna shape it. It's just gonna shape the music. Look at, what Cardi B had the #1 song, and she's, Red Bottoms, and I'm just saying that there's no love there.
Right.
I grew up on love music. Luther Vandross only sung about love. Didn't Whitney say the greatest love of all?
Right.
Yeah.
Don't you miss Whitney?
Yeah, I do, man.
Come on, y'all. Let's see. This is unmuted here, right?
Yes.
This is
All right,
unmuted,
y'all,
man.
listen, let's
Let
get
the
people
people know
100.
this unmuted.
Is this listen, y'all miss some Whitney.
Yeah, we do miss Whitney. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
come on.
Yes.
I miss her
I'm
rollout.
not listening to James Cleveland in the bedroom. I stood on the banks. I'm standing on something else. You know. And
So that's the difference. I mean, you asked that quick question. I didn't really go off. But
no, you good. You good.
I'm good. Okay.
And that's one question I wanted to ask you too. Like, it was a lot of acts that wasn't there. You didn't have James Cleveland there. I didn't see him on there. Shucks, you didn't have other gospel artists that was there. And one of the main ones that I did not see, I didn't see the Spinners. Where were the Spinners at?
Well, you know, that's a good question. I think you got as a producer of a promoter, you get who you can get, and not everybody, you know, is going to come aboard, or they might have had something else to do. Right. And so, you know, I think what he was able to accomplish, bringing all these people together for very little money, he got the Sly and the Family Stone to perform in Marcus Garvey Park, the entire group, y'all. You want guess what? For $2,500.
I was wondering about that. How did you do it?
I paid it. Listen, we got to pay the damn clown at the block party $2,000.
Yeah,
and he drunk half the time.
Yeah,
talking about, hey kiddies, you know, you want to make you want a balloon? And we're like,
no.
You know, where's the red nose? No more red nose. But
you say you got them for 2,500? You got sliding for 2,500?
2,500.
So what was the budget? Because, you know, you got the commercial, you know, it was produced.
Some people got 1,000. Some people got, listen, he used his skill. He used what he had. They had the coffee. Maxwell House gave them a budget. And he had to chop that budget up every week. And so they were the big act. I don't know what Nina got. Nina was one person.
Nina might
have got that fried fish fry. Nina might have got a fish dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, check my if there's 12 people splitting up $2,500 and she one person, she might have got dinner, baby. You know, they might say, listen, we just need you to come out. So I can't tell you what the other ones made.
Right.
Okay.
Why? 2,500?
2,500.
Bro, because that, you know, I was thinking about that, and I wanted to know because, you know, on the documentary it says that he had a way with people, and they wanted to know, how did he do this? How did he pull it off? Like, everybody was concerned whether he's going to get paid. And you see Maxwell House, you know, it was a little brown bean from the rich soil of Africa. I'm like, first of all, that bean ain't from Africa. Number one, they just stop. That bean, that bean ain't from Africa. We just found that somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Thank God we take credit for it. But I'm like, how much money did they put up? Because back then, you know, 2,500, man, that's some major dough. You know, back then.
I mean, 2,500. Well, you know, yeah, okay. But when you look at it in context, I think they were even those days, like, I think they were making, like, they would have probably made about 8,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sly and Family Stone would have made about 8,000 on another situation. But here was an opportunity for them to actually, Sly and Family Stone used Harlem Cultural Festival as a warm-up for Woodstock.
Seriously?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were booked for Woodstock. Not when they got there, but pretty much they knew they were going to do Woodstock, and they needed this came first. So when they did Woodstock, they blew up in Woodstock.
So okay, what about the musicians that was playing for everybody? Because listen, when David Ruffin came up there, those trumpet players was at their best. The drummer was at his best. I'm like, look, you could just hear it. I'm like, bro, he had them out there. They couldn't. The lady with the shades on, she just go, oh my God, Dave, he playing my girl, he talking to me. And I'm like, she was just so happy. I'm like, he had it, man. That dude was bad. They even had a dude up in the trees, just snapping and popping his face.
Right. Up in the trees.
It was beautiful, man. Yeah. It was beautiful.
You know, what I loved about that moment with David Ruffin was the fact that, first off, he was in a full wool-on winter suit.
Yes.
In 80-degree weather, 90-degree weather, with the bow tie, with a fur collar.
Yeah, fur collar.
And he wasn't sweating. That's called the epitome of cool. He wasn't sweating.
And good crack.
And actually, he sang his best.
He did.
He did rips.
Yeah.
He did rips that we have not seen or heard, I mean.
Yeah.
He went in. I gotta say, that was one of the best I've ever heard him sound.
Yeah.
And as well as the Fifth Dimension. When he goes off at the end, Billy Davis.
Yeah.
You never heard him sound that black.
You're right. Hey, look, those ad-libs that came from the church.
That came from the church.
I did not know that they were black. I had no idea. Sarah didn't know it. I didn't know it. I didn't know they were black because I heard them when I was in elementary school. And I remember there was a little girl that had glasses on. I said, who are these people? I said, because I'm a bass player. So I heard the bass. I'm like, man, I love that. Sound like church. And she said, oh, that's the fifth dimension. I'm like, really? I had no idea until YouTube came out. That's when I had a chance to look. I'm like, whoa, they black? Man. And you can hear like, I love the ad-lib. I'm like, yeah, that's church. That's altar call right now. That's I loved it, man. And it's just so amazing to see all those people. Now you see all the people on there, and it was only for an hour some change. Actually, an hour and 56 minutes. I got on the TV right over there. Were there any fights or anything that took place out there?
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
No, you good. Tell Sheila to hold on, man. We'll get her on next show.
Oh boy, how did I get this? Okay.
Oh, Sheila.
All right. Okay, let me push this down. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No, what I was saying was like all those black people that was out there. It was, never seen anything, even at the Million Man March or Dr. Martin Luther King speak, I never seen it like that. But I wanted to know, okay, were there any fights that broke out? Because today we get a crowd like that, something is going down. Let's just be real with it.
No, that was the thing. No. The answer is no.
Wow.
And that's what I want people to understand is that at Woodstock, they carried on. They were sliding in the mud. Women were taking off their tops. Look at the footage. We were just coming out to have a good time with our families. And we were peaceful, and 300,000 people ultimately came to the park. They had a crowd of 300,000 people ultimately came to that park. And if you can even just fathom that, that's bigger than half of anything that any person's done. Like that's bigger than Jay-Z at the Garden. 300,000 people don't go to the Garden.
Right.
So just to give an idea, so even when you look at the Garden and you look at, when they're at Yankee Stadium or whatever it is, that's not 300,000 people. So even those people who are the shit, right? Can I say that? I just said it.
You just said it. You just said it. Wait, hold on.
You can't beep it out now.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back and rewind it. Let me see.
Can you? Oops.
Oh no, that's a hand clap. Let me go back and see if I can find it.
You hilarious. So even that person, they didn't have that many people. They didn't have as many people. Michael Jackson didn't have 300,000. I know it's hard to explain, but he didn't have 300,000 people. And so it's the largest free outdoor concert, one of them in history, certainly in Harlem's history, without question. The largest free out that has ever been in my lifetime or any lifetimes in Harlem. Right. So that's what I'm proud of as well,
What you got, Sarah? I know you burning up with something over there, girl. What you got?
What you got? What you got?
You're not gonna do me tonight. So you being a native of Harlem and being the ambassador, what is one of the main things or one of the main desires of your heart to keep alive in Harlem? Is it the hospitality? Is it just everything being kept free? Is it, just your heart of being a giver? What's the main thing that you want to keep alive in Harlem that you want the future to remember?
Most important to me is keeping our culture. I feel if we can keep our culture, then we can keep the soul of Harlem. Without culture, you don't have, all the rest can fade. But when you have a culture that's ingrained in the people, then, you know, I'll be good, because within that culture, you're going to get the food, you're going to get the fashion, you're going to get the art, you're going to get the music, you're going to get all of those things. And that's all passion. Anything we do with passion. You know, remember soul food itself was the scraps.
Right.
But it was the passion we put in the food that made it some of the most delectable, those scraps, the most delectable food in history. That's not even debatable.
Right, chitlins.
I don't even want to debate it. I'm not debating with nobody. That's just a fact. I'm just going to tell you, hell, whoever.
Right.
It's a fact. I don't want to debate you. It's one of the greatest foods in the world, because take your scraps and see what you do with it. It's going to taste just like what it sounds like, scraps. But when we do it, when grandma put her foot in it, and I hope she watched that foot. When grandma put her foot up in it, it's amazing. So I just want to make sure that we keep our culture above all else. I don't care if it's free, you know, keep it affordable, you know, to families, try and keep, and when I say culture, culture is where we live. So all that, I just feel it sums up everything when they say for the culture, you know, how we live. So yes, make it affordable, you know, so that's a part of what I do, or what I'm about is keeping our culture on the minds of people, and having people, give people their flowers while they're here. I was able to give one of my closest friends his flowers. I gave him his last flowers, his last cover while he was here. Michael K. Williams.
Yeah.
And I gave him his flowers. I gave him those, you know, I look back on it now and say that's my mission, is that I'm looking at a lot of our elders. You'll still see a number of them on my cover, along with a young, hot actor. Because I want to show that there's that we don't, once you get older, you're just not forgotten.
Right.
You know, I had a conversation today, which he will not probably, let's not put that out there. Let's hope he's on my cover. But if he's not, he's always in the spirit of what I do, is Harry Belafonte. And he's someone that I've met, I don't know him that well, but I've met him several times. His daughter is one of my closest friends. And she called me today, and, you know, a part of me was like, oh, I want to get Harry Belafonte on my cover. You know what? It's okay. I'm more importantly that he's here, he's alive, and that his legacy lives on. You know, I almost got Cicely Tyson on my cover, but she passed away. You know, but these things, and until you're older, I lost my uncle just recently, my mother's only brother, who was 90 something, and my mother's elderly. And it's only when you're dealing with elderly people that you realize the significance that they were the keepers of the culture.
Right.
And my mother gave us all this amazing culture to feast on the Black culture. And here I am now, and I'm able to, you know, give to my community in a way that fills my heart. You know, there's nothing like giving back to your community.
Right.
There's not a price tag. You can't pay me for that. You can, well, yes, you can, but you know.
Yeah, let's keep it real.
That check I've been waiting on, though.
We say, you can. People like when they say, Lord, I don't deserve. Like, yes, I do. If I'm doing what you say, I do deserve something.
Deserve, please.
Better give me that blessing. Yes, sir, I do deserve it. Now, let's talk about this. You own your own magazine. I looked through it. I said, Scott, you're going to be on there one day because you look good. You know, his covers and stuff, I take great pictures, just to let you know. Moves, I take awesome pictures. When I get behind the camera, bro, when I get in front of the camera, I look good. You know, I'm just putting that out there just in case you ever want to use a brother from Polk County, you know, instead of underneath white sheets, you know, but anyway.
It's coming. I feel it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, man, listen,
I see it.
Like you got a lot of people that you're connected to. Just like the other day, I saw you with Vanessa Williams, that my brother was in love with her from the Cosby Show, and she was Theo's girlfriend and all. And I see you with Al Sharpton and all these people and everything. how did you become this great designer and magazine owner and all that? Like, how did it happen? Because I mean, you're doing a lot of great stuff.
I mean, I started out as a model, and when I modeled, it was I'm 56. So when I started, when I started, I was 18 years old, and that was 38 years ago. So when I began my career, there weren't a whole lot of Black male models. So I then became a legendary model, and I just had a lot of connections. I mean, I've been in that world, and the film and TV world and the modeling world, I grew up with them. I remember a lot of them when they were struggling. I remember a lot of them when they weren't famous. Right. I knew Naomi Campbell when she was 18. She was just making it, or Denzel Washington or Wesley Snipes was couch surfing. Stuff like that. Tupac Shakur's first film, who are now deceased. Get it? Yeah. He's been gone for 20 something years. Right. And before he died, he was already a legend. But I knew him when he first started. So my perspective is off. I went to high school with Ricky Walters.
Yeah,
who became
really?
Slick Rick.
Yeah, okay. Oh, Slick Ricky. Yeah, man.
Who's an icon. He's one of the founder, he's Rick the Ruler. He's put him in any concert and he's being bowed down to by Swiss Beats. But I was with him in high school.
Right.
You're a little Ricky. That's how I see him. So my perspective is off. You understand that?
Yeah.
That's why I'm the ambassador. I knew Jay-Z when he was just starting. I knew Damon Dash when he was selling records out of a trunk. And I was already famous. You get it now?
Yeah, I get it.
So now, as the ambassador, that's why major cultural institutions ask me to host, because I can go in and talk about things from, I remember Whitney Houston when she just got her record contract. She's been gone now. I mean, come on. Yeah. See, I have my perspective. Lena Horne was my mentor. You get it now?
Yeah.
So that's why when I say that I didn't ask to be the ambassador. They didn't have a choice but to make me the ambassador as I look at it now. And that's why, and look at how I'm talking to you guys.
Right.
You come to Harlem and you will know there is only one. And I could be standing next to Dapper Dan, the icon.
Right.
But there's no match with me.
Come on, confident.
Because he didn't know Sissy, he didn't know James, he didn't know Lena. He knew drug dealers. I love him, but there's a different story here that you have to hear than the other type of story. That's how you get the ambassador. The ambassador doesn't discriminate. The ambassador is in the hood and also on Wall Street. Don't leave those two out. Don't leave out the hood.
Right.
Don't just put the hood on a pedestal. Put the kid who's in science also on a pedestal. The young girl who's a spelling bee champ, not the one that's just singing the riff.
Right.
We gotta have balance. And when we don't have balance, they get it. And that's how they take us off balance. But if people like myself are saying, no, 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 because when I step up to the table, right, I'm bringing balance.
Right.
Because they think I'm just going to do the elite. They think I'm just going to do the, those people, Michelle Obamas. And then I bring Shaniqua. And they're like, but who's that? Oh, you don't know Shaniqua? She's head of her spelling bee class, and she's valedictorian, and she's headed to Howard. Yes, she's from a single mom. But she's our future.
Right.
Meet Michelle Obama. They don't do that. I'm here to do that because the elite won't do that. I'm glad, and not just me, there are people like me there are other Harlem ambassadors. Just that I want to say that too.
Yeah, but just look how this went down. I see you on TV. I'm heading to Massachusetts for work. And then after that, okay, hey, let's get this guy because he's awesome. I connect with him. Let's just give it a shot. And then boom, here we are. I'm hanging out with you in Harlem, New York, sitting on a stoop eating chicken, talking about the past and mingling with everybody. Everybody's not going to get an opportunity to do that.
Right.
So that meant something to me. And I almost shed a tear when I was going back to my hotel room. Like, dude, did this just happen? He don't understand how much I look up to him. Like I'm like you. I look up to this. I'm up here crying with him and I don't even know him. But now I know. Right. And just to hear you say that, there's so many people that I looked up to that I wish I just would have looked at them from afar and never got close. Yeah. Because they was jerks when I got close to them. They was buttholes when I got close to them. I mean, musicians. I've been playing music since I was 5 years old. Started out on drums in the church, got a chance to play with a lot of gospel artists and stuff. I mean, my brothers that I came up with are buttholes because you got some, but I got some too. You just took it a little bit further than I did, but I got some too. And I'm not going to piss on a young drummer or a young bassist or something like that that's not as skillful as I am. Let's braid them up. Yeah. No charge. Yeah. Why? Right. And to hear somebody like you say that, it inspires me even more to just like be a door opener. Come on.
I'll say this, right? There's a lot of us like that. Dapper Dan is the same way. You can see Dapper Dan and see him in Harlem. That's what I love about him so much, is that, and Bevy Smith and people like that, is that you can see run into real Harlemites. Melba's exactly the same way as me. Trinez Woods, we all are like that. The people that are really doing things in the community because we come from the community. So when you come back to Harlem, and I'll introduce you to them, is that you'll see these people who are very authentic and that they just want to give back to the community. Like I said, my role is a little different. You know, Melba cooks the food. Dapper does the fashion. This one does X, Y, and Z. Huh?
I got a flat credit on Expedia.com. Let me.
You coming back this next week, right?
I get back up to that Mamba Joe.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah,
no, right? Red eye. But you know, if you know, and so I don't want to. You know, I'm not out here alone. I'm just doing my part.
Right.
I want to make that extremely clear. I am not. I you know, when people come for me, I say, oh, I come with an army. So if you're coming for me, you got to deal with them too.
Right.
And if you come for them, you got to deal with me, because that's, in other words, you know, I'm not alone. Don't think, oh, let's get him off on his own, and therefore we can cut everything off. Like, oh, well, if you cut me off, you got this ambassador over here. You got this ambassador. You got this king. You got this queen that are out here doing it well. And I just only named a few of them that are doing it really well. But there's several others that also came into our community that are also contributing to our community. There's Nicole Evans, who's incredible. There's Ivo. There's a ton of businesses. I just put one on the cover. Katrina and Mark, Nailu.
I saw them. Beautiful people.
Incredible business that gives back to the community.
Yeah.
Everything in their shop is made by local artisans. The candles, the books, the T-shirts, the pillows, you know, beautiful, beautiful stuff. These are gift items that you look at, oh shoot, these are nice. But they also have a Black flavor. Right. You know, when you go into like these other stores, you gotta maybe trick it out a little bit. They're already tricked out because they're you. You know, you might have a Harlem on the pillow. You might have Queen on the pillow. You might have, you know, a picture of Langston Hughes on your wall. You know, she gives these artists an opportunity to make money in her shop. Right. It's a husband and wife team. So I love that, you know.
That young lady right there that's above you. Now, I noticed her talent when I have a mentor program called I'm Proud of Me Mentoring right here in Polk County, and I did have one in Memphis County as well. But we do tutoring every Monday and Thursday. Every kid that has come through there has have piss poor grades. Right. Every last one of them got the grades up. I have some amazing people behind me in this program. Bro, when I tell you like this, man, the stuff that we put on, and she goes inside of my head and puts it on potato chip bags, apple cider wine bottles, like she does things for my church, like chocolate covers up. I'm like, how in the world? But it looks like I can actually go buy this at the store And I'm like, listen, that's all I wanted to do for anybody that comes through is, hey, look, open the door. If I see a talent inside of you, push it. Now she's getting paid for doing stuff like that.
That's right. As she should be.
Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I got a lot of comedy shows I got to do this month and next month. I'm good. Get her.
As she should be paid.
Right.
Okay. Because she's out here, you know, doing something that's worth, you know, has some value.
Yeah.
You know, but I gotta say, you know, I do have to go.
Yes.
I'm you guys have been awesome. You want any final question or that you have for me?
Musa, I got you.
I have one.
Go
But
ahead.
go ahead, Scott.
No, I was gonna let him know that we got each other to the day that one of us leave here, we get to close the casting on each other. That's how I get down.
That's what's up.
You locked in, you blood, bro.
That's what's up. And Sarah?
Yeah, a little over a year ago, you did an interview with DJ Leroy and DJ Watchman. And their segment at the end, there was a quote that you said, "Live your life with passion."
That's
what did
right.
that phrase mean to you? Because when you said it, I instantly had to Google the word passion because I wanted the exact definition of it. Because it was just an inspiration, live your life with passion. What does that phrase mean to you?
Live your life with all passion. To me is all the energy and love that you need inside of you to live out your dreams. Okay, so it's something that the passion comes from within, all right, that you then bring out so that other people can now be drawn to you.
Right.
And you can then make things happen. So living your life with that, you're always going to be in a space of love, abundance, doing the things that you want to do and showing people who you are. Because you came here with unique gift. You came here with talent. You know, whether it's a gift of talking, whether it's a gift of making people laugh, doing hair, whatever the case may be, you know, science, math, whatever that talent is, go to it in the fullest. Do it because you love it. Passion to me at the core is love. It's a fuel. That's the fuel. That's the ignition. You know, that's what really sets it all off. So that's what I meant when I say live your life with passion. It's just go for it. Go for it with anybody that you don't care, like you don't care around you. Don't let nobody stop you.
I love that.
Not your mother, not your whoever, not your child, not, you know, the person down the block, you never know. You came here to do something. You did. And they don't know until you show them. And then the same people that probably they'll be the most proud of you. Say, wow, I didn't know. You know, I was afraid for you that you wouldn't make it and da-da-da-da. But you know in the heart that the passion is what drives you. And that's why you got to make it happen. So whatever you want to do, sister, is you go ahead and you do that.
Yeah.
You spread that love.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Man, appreciate you so much for being a part of this.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Scott Simpkins, aka Simp7. Thank you so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart that you took the time out to watch Unmuted. This is a new show for me. This is something different I was doing during the podcast, but I want to bring positivity to the internet, to all of my viewers and listeners, something positive. We have celebrities coming on, NBA players, football players, whatever we have it coming on. I just thank God it gave me a vision to do this. Listen, if you like what you hear, and if you like what you see, subscribe right down there. Go ahead, tap that little button down there, tap it. There you go, and subscribe, become part of the Unmuted family. Listen, there's no big eyes and little U's. If you want to interview and come on and tell your story so you can help somebody else, put a smile on somebody else's face and laugh a little bit and enjoy yourself, hit me up and I will bring you on and we'll talk about anything. Be respectful. So we are Unmuted. I am Scott Simpkins once again. Thank you, my guys. Peace.